You know, I've been on this planet over 46 years, and I thought I'd seen just about everything. But the other morning, I was driving around for work, and I saw this guy sleeping, standing up. At first, I thought he was looking for something, and I drove past and saw it, and then I drove by again, and he was still there. So I drove around a couple times to see if he would move. No, he didn't move. It was really freaky, but it's just another example of how our homeless problem has really gotten out of hand. Deepak Chopra once said, "Each of us is a unique strand in the intricate web of life and here to make a contribution." I guess he never met this guy. If you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and watch a few of my videos so I don't end up homeless. So a couple days ago, this guy was walking down the street with his cart and someone offered him a cigarette. It was all right in front of me. So of course he took it, and he just let his cart roll and roll and roll, and it rolled out into the street and spilled everywhere. And there were cars going by, and this guy didn't give one crap about what happened. And then about a month ago, I almost got into a fight with a bum who looked exactly like this. So I was in Little Caesars getting their lunch combo or whatever, and just minding my own business. He walked in and said, "Hey man, can you give me any money?" I was like, "No." And then he walked out, and then after I got my pizza, I went back to my car, and the same guy knocked on my window. "Hey man, can you give me any money?" And I was like, "No, and don't touch my car." And he kind of got aggressive. He's like, "What?" And so I flung my door open and I stood up and I was like, "You heard me, get away." I was willing, ready, and able to throw that guy a beating, but that would mean I'd actually have to touch him. Gross. Then there was another time I was in San Francisco at the Fillmore getting ready to go to a concert, and I don't know if you've ever been there, but there's a post office right next to it, and people line up against the wall so they don't block pedestrian traffic. And there were these two teenage girls standing next to me, and this this guy who looked exactly like that. He was blind because he was using the wall to walk, and he put his arms around a girl, and she was pinned up against the wall. And I was like, "Do you want him to stop?" And she said yes. So I grabbed his shoulder. I was like, "That's enough, man. Keep walking." And I pulled him away, and I'll never forget him because he butchered the English language worse than I've ever heard. He's like, Who you is?" And I was like, "It doesn't matter, man. Just keep walking. Get out of here." Oh, people. Oh well. Now I have I almost beat up a blind bum in San Francisco story. But doesn't everybody? Sadly, in the Sacramento area, I see people with signs all the time at stoplights. This was when a homeless encampment started burning. Probably cooking meth or something. And this was sad. So this is right in Sacramento. And look at all the garbage and trash. How embarrassing. Sacramento is the capital of California, and they allow this to go on. All this garbage and, like rundown RVs. It's just, I would be so embarrassed if I lived anywhere near this. Luckily, it's like a half hour from where I actually live, but look at this. It's like these homeless people they just set up camp wherever they want, and they make as big of a mess as they want, and once they have to move, they just leave it, and I am getting sick of it. What's it like where you live? I know pretty much every major city on the West Coast has a huge homeless population. It's so sad. This next shot I took was in Elk Grove, California, just outside of Sacramento. It's so bad. Here's downtown Sacramento. So every time I drive in Sacramento, I see stuff like this, and it just got me thinking, what is the answer to the homeless problem? I mean, should we bring back insane asylums and just throw all the crazy people in one place? Or I know that's bad, but what's worse, just letting them freeze out on the street with nothing to eat? I mean, a lot of these people are addicted to drugs, and a cynical person would say just let Darwin take care of it, But man, if I had to live in an area like that, I'd be so mad. I mean, it's only bringing down the property values, and the houses in that area probably run for $750,000 each. I asked a friend of mine who lives in England if there were any homeless people, because I don't know, I've never been there, and she said there definitely are, which made me feel a little bit better. Did you know that the economy of the state of California is the largest in the United States, boasting a $3.0 trillion gross state product as of 2020? If California were a sovereign nation, it would rank as the world's 5th largest economy, ahead of the United Kingdom and just behind Germany. Why do I bring this up? Because we pay so much in taxes just to live in California, and yet nothing ever happens with the homeless problem. They just keep throwing money and throwing money and throwing money, and nothing, it just seems to be getting worse. So I don't know what the answer could be. According to this website, the way to end homelessness in America, we must strengthen our ability to prevent it in the first place. Focus on housing needs, housing stability, risks of homelessness across many different public systems. I lived in Seattle for a couple of years, and the California problem isn't nearly as bad as it is up there. I'd say it's 50 times worse, because they just hand out free tents and safe places to shoot up drugs, and oh man, Pearl Jam did a concert. They did 2 sold out shows at this huge stadium and gave all the proceeds to the homeless problem. Didn't even make a dent. I don't know if this show called Seattle is Dying is still up on YouTube or not, but you should watch it. It's really eye-opening. I follow this Facebook group called Seattle Looks Like S, and it's both sad and funny at the same time. So the US is one of the richest countries in the world, right? But at any given night, we have 567,715 homeless people on our streets. Anyway, back to Sacramento. So the city just paid $23.9 million to buy a hotel to store homeless people, and they're putting a new encampment by a marina, and people are saying they're just going to ruin the neighborhood. Anyway, back to my man here, sleeping in the middle of the street. Yeah, drug problems, no place to live, housing is too expensive, so many excuses for people to be homeless, but obviously the answer to it is hard to figure out, or else they would have done it by now. So what do you think? What do you think we should do? Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it isn't this bad where you live, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.